On Sports Today, the coaches back-to-back for Parkland Mazda and the all-new Mazda 6.
On 882 6PR.
Straight down to Freo. G'day, Ross Lyon.
G'day, Brad. How are you?
Going really well. Look, I mean, a win is a win, and to win by 15 goals, you always want to get better, but that's pretty pleasing, I would have thought.
Yeah, particularly the first half. So, couldn't have started any better, really. I thought we were ferocious at the ball, moved it quickly and effective. Up to half-time, we had a third quarter lapse, and then I thought we really got going in the last quarter, like had 9 or 10 shots, and just would have liked to be a bit smoother in front of goal to have a really dominating performance. But overall, we'll take it and we'll move on.
Ross, they are no good, and you're probably a little bit angry that you didn't, when you had your foot on their throat, you didn't absolutely put them away.
No, I'm not angry. I was just disappointed we went away from some of the basics. But that's human nature when you get comfortable. Look, I had a look at their losses today, and the biggest loss is obviously Essendon, 150. But other than that, the other dominant performances have been about 90 points against them. So, and the teams that have done that, have allowed them, 17 or 18 shots. So I think we kept them to 6-4 and had a number of shots. So, no, we walk away, with plenty of things to improve upon, and we're going to have to, against quality, be consistent. But, our last 5 weeks are against quality, we've had the 3 longest trips in Australia, performed well, except down at Lyon. And so there's been a bit of a grind. They come out and, it was a pretty warm day. I think that's what got lost as well. Our players after half-time struggled a little bit in the heat. It was quite warm after they'd spent themselves. So, look, there's been some challenges. They've accepted them and, obviously personnel challenges. And so we find ourselves in a position where we head over to Adelaide. It's a 140 game and, both teams full of confidence and get to, go head-to-head.
You've got some pleasant problems coming up as far as selection's concerned, because you are going to get back some quality talent over the next 5 weeks.
Yeah, I think we need to temper expectations, particularly for Matthew and Aaron. Michael less so, and Stephen Hill less so, because they haven't missed as significant amounts of football. But my expectations are quite low on Matthew in particular, and Aaron, because they've missed so much, and particularly Matthew with 3 operations over summer. So, look, there's no doubt he'll add, but it's going to take him a fair while to come to hand, I would imagine. So there's no quick fix. We're really pleased with the people doing the job, and can you continue to back them in? If the others can come in and perform, that will be a bonus.
Mate, it's been really nice to see the impact that Lee Spur's continuing to have and the consistency. Sutcliffe, he's put a couple of really good games together. Hayden Crozier shows us that he's dangerous and he's got some tricks. And Jack Hanneth played his best game on the weekend. And, you were really in the position where you had the luxury of being able to sub out an experienced player in McFarlane towards the end because of team performance by younger players.
You're spot on. Our youth are delivering, but they're being led brilliantly by McFarlane and Mundy and Fyfe and those type of guys. So Nick Barlow, and Lee Spur, Michael Johnson, the real team drivers, and Duffield and Ibbotson have been strong. But Crosby's had 5 shots and should have had a few more, really, and Sutcliffe have been really good. And we've got a couple of introduced. Tom Sheridan is really growing at the waffle level, Mitchie and Josh Simpson and young Tabernar. So we'd like to add to it. And, Luke, I don't think he was pleased being subbed off, but look, I think people forget we didn't have him in the final series, and Alex went down back and did a really good job. But we're pretty keen to manage Luke where we can, and that was an important part of it on the weekend. So he goes to Adelaide, fit and fresh.
I'm tipping you would have had little sleep last night, because I reckon you would have woken up. You couldn't wait for this morning to come, because you love pre-planning. This is a real challenge against Adelaide, because they're back on the map, and that's the ideal game for you and your selection panel and your strategies, etc. To, when they've got Dangerfield and Thompson and all of these guys, and they found a couple of forwards in the absence of Walker, etc.
And Lynch, yeah.
Yeah. So you'd be loving this week, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I tuned in to had a bite to eat with the family, and then come home and watched on Foxtel the second half of North. I just wanted to see the style of game that was played and how they did what they did. So there's some really interesting lessons already. And I've really moved on from Melbourne. I'll watch more of them tonight on the Apple Mac and behind the goals vision. So look, when you look at their list, the only significant injury they got is Walker. I think they got 3 injuries. And so Walker's a big loss, and obviously Tippett's moved on, but they got all their run, a bit like us, they got all their run in their midfield. So they're going to be a real handful, and they've got us the last 3 times. Different things in each game, and they're all been close, but we haven't got the chocolate, so we're pretty keen to find the way, you know.
Now, you like this, you love this sort of stuff because you're well researched, I know. Nat Fyfe, 25 contested possessions yesterday, only the 9th player and the youngest to do that since that stat was first recorded since 1999.
I did read that same piece.
How about that? But that again...
Look, he had 16 to half time, which is really significant. Look, the games are more contested now than they were in the past, so everyone plays on. You know, when we used to run around, no one played on anyone, Carl. You could run around and get a kick.
Yeah, I know, but all I'm trying to point out that you've got a lot of these young blokes playing well, where there's a couple of other blokes like the Melbourne coach that doesn't. Now, you know, you'd certainly
look, I can't take much credit from that. And,
I can. Well, I'm giving you the credit. That's all. It's just.
I'd like to take it, but I can't. So, look, he's such a driven individual. I think what really puts it into context is he's had significant shoulder operations, so his tackling, you can see, isn't at its best yet because he's had 2 shoulder recos and the latter J where they had to take some bone to give it stability. So his mental toughness to play like he does is something to be proud of from that side, and something obviously is a team driver for us. But it's a way to numbers, you know. Mundy and Barlow.
Yeah, but they're talking the talk and walking the walk. I mean, that's as a coach, to your players. I mean, that's what you want. That's what you want to be able to teach them, and that's what you want them to be able to carry out. And your blokes are doing it. Yeah,
they are at the minute, but we know there's some really valuable lessons over the last couple of weeks. It's about your next effort, you know. So I think Essendon Brisbane was a lesson, and then obviously Collingwood Sydney was a lesson. So we've got belief in the way we're going about it. We've got belief in each other, you know, coaches and players, but, you know, there's some significant challenges to come, and, you know, where we are at the minute doesn't even get you a finals berth, so we're going to keep trying to bank 4 points as the season unfolds.
Heard in the news, signed up Michael Walters for an extended period of time, which is good, so, you know, obviously people are comfortable and happy at the club.
Yeah, well, they are. We want to create an environment, you know, where they feel they belong to something that's building, that we can improve them and they can express their talent, so we think that's there for them. Players are signing up, and that probably gets to my point. I don't have anything to do with contract negotiations, and the list management team, headed by Brad Lloyd and Chris Bond, work really tightly. So their ability to deliver our talent and sign them up is a really good show of them doing their roles. But more importantly, as you said, they feel something special is building at the club, and that's what we're trying to do.
But your role is to get the best out of people, and you need to take credit for sending him back and sending him the message that needed to be sent to improve, and he has.
Yeah, look, quite simply, my role is to help create an environment that our players can be the best, and then they commit to what they want to be, and then my role is to help hold them to account to what they've committed to, and sometimes, and because they do that, you know, there's a framework for the harder conversation. So it's never personal, but here's the standards and what we value. And if you hit them, you'll grow and we'll all prosper. And if you don't, we'll give you some solutions, but you need to go away and buy in it. And Michael's done that. He's been rewarded with a contract. The club gets rewarded because he's playing well, and our fans and members are happy because he's playing some good football and we're winning. So a lot of players sit in that category.
And Ross, as we let you go, one for the news services, mate, where do you think you'll play Jack Watts, forward or back?
Jack who?
Good on you, Ross. Good luck against the Crows on the weekend.
Cheers,
Ross Lyon, coaches back-to-back for Parkland Mazda.